Yo, 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 welcome to episode 20 of the Elite Wrestling Club podcast, where we explore individuals' dreams and the unwavering persistence to achieve them on and off the mat. Hi, I'm your host, Lance Runyon, and I'm thrilled to have you join us for another inspiring episode. In this episode, we will be going behind the scenes with Matt Boelman, who is the president and chief executive officer of Purficut. We will share personal stories and valuable insights, and we're excited to bring you a fascinating conversation that will inspire and motivate you to chase your dreams and achieve greatness both on and off the mat. So without further ado, let's welcome Matt Boelman and dive into the Elite Wrestling Club podcast world.
Hey guys,
Had a
thanks
few
for having me.
technical difficulties there.
Yeah, just a touch.
Yeah,
I think we tried
appreciate
three
you.
different computers before we finally get to see it here with all three faces on the screen. So thanks for being patient with me.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, we appreciate you taking your time and to come on and discuss your journey and your experiences, especially with Perficut starting that business out when you were 18 with Corey, and I just want to say thank you from me and from Garrett and EWC for your donation for our trip out to Colorado, and also just all the support that you've given me throughout the years and my family. And you're a big mentor to me and someone I look up to, just the way you carry yourself and always actively listening and wanting to leave a lasting impression on anyone you come in contact with. So
well, thank you.
I'm excited.
Words
Lance kind of shared your background a little bit, so ready to get a lot from this.
Well, me as well. I hope to learn from you guys.
Yeah, I mean,
you guys also. So I've been following your guys' kind of journey here over the last couple months myself, and it's it's exciting. I remember when I was both your guys' ages, which seems like yesterday, but it's exciting to see you guys doing what you're doing and learning and probably getting a little bit better with each episode. So I'm excited to be here. So once again, just thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of part of it. I guess even for me, first episode, I was like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to ask. I'm kind of being structured, organized. I'm like, man, I just want this to flow like a conversation. So I kind of got rid of the questions, kind of just had some topics and just kind of just let it flow and go from there, so.
That sounds good. Let's let it rip. What do you guys want to start off with? What do you want to know, or how can I help you?
Well, I think we just want to hear a little bit of your story and the entrepreneurship, starting Purficut when you were 18 with Corey, kind of how you guys started, what inspired you guys to really, dig deep into the lawn and landscape business, and then even grow and expand beyond that.
Well, sure. I'll do my best to try
too,
and. So. I'm sorry, Garrett. I missed you there a little bit.
Oh no, I was just saying I'm super excited to hear about that too. I mean, like you said, with Lance and I doing this ourselves, I mean, we're learning along the way too, and so I'm excited.
That's good. That's the only way to do it. At least that's the only way. I knew how to do it, but I'll try and do my best. We're 30 years in, so trying to capture 30 years into a podcast is a little bit unique and trying to do, but I'll do my best. I mean, once upon a time, I was 18 and Corey and I and my partner at the time and his dad, Bob, our partner at the time, back in '94 when we incorporated the business, I was 18 and just fresh out of school. I mean, landscape was, or mowing lawns at the time was just the job that we had. It really was not an intentional decision to get into landscape at this super high level or where it is today. Really was just kind of accidental. I was fresh out of high school. I was taking some classes at DMAC, but to be honest, I was really confused and I didn't have a direction in life, and I didn't really have a direction of really where I wanted to go, which I don't think is uncommon of since I have a 17-year-old daughter who's a senior, now I'm having those questions and conversations with her, and she's like, Dad, I really don't know what I want to do. And I said to her, I was like, that's okay. I mean, that's common, with, you really don't know what to do when you're 17 or 18, but, kind of the perfect storm, really evolved, for us. And that was, we had, we had three of us in terms of myself and Corey and his dad. And we had a foundation, at least, from the beginning. And that was hard work. That really was step number one, is that we're all hard workers. Really, the other piece that really started coming into play is growing up in Ankeny at the time. When I graduated, I think Ankeny was a town of 16,000 people. And so it was really the perfect environment, as well, to not only be involved in a business, but to grow a business. I don't know where Ankeny is today, but, I think it's close to, 75,000 people. And what I tell
Yeah,
everyone,
it's
I'm kind
huge.
of, it is. I mean, it is. I mean, it's not Chicago or New York City, but it's been something to be around and something to be, um, it's been something to see. I mean, really, in terms of the growth. But when I say it was kind of the perfect storm, the advantage also we had of that young age, was we just really didn't understand any risk and didn't really understand business or any fear or the decisions that were needed to be made to, at the business level we're at now. I mean, at that time, I couldn't tell you really what a financial statement was. I don't think I could tell you really what a financial statement was till I was close to 35 in terms of being able to read one. But that simplicity in the business was really what we needed at the time, because, keeping it simple in terms of just working really hard, working endless amounts of hours, being in an environment that exposed a lot of opportunities in terms of growth, and having that no fear mentality, and really a winning mentality too at the time. It was, we were aggressive by nature, both, in personality and in the approach to business. So we didn't say a lot of no's. We said a lot of yeses. And we back that with, endless amounts of, hours and hard work, and bringing people, or teammates with us at the time that, that helped that concept, simplicity grow. So we had a lot of high school kids, and I still to this day kind of wonder where their parents were, because they were 15, 16-year-old kids putting in 75 hours a week, but, we never heard from them. But those were our teammates at the time, because it really was just a network of people when you're 18 years old, that, to help grow your business. So, that perfect storm was just, it really was kind of the secret sauce at the time. And that was just young, aggressive in nature, didn't understand risk, and didn't understand, anything that really would get us in trouble, led us to make very simple decisions. That was just, let's just keep working. Let's just keep seeing how much business we can win. And, let's see where it can take us. Fast forwarding to where we're at today, there was a lot of kind of critical steps along the way, obviously, of getting a business to where we're at now. But, we just had some tremendous teammates along the way, and still do. Really the best, teammates of my life probably exist within the business now. But, at the time, rewinding back, we thought they were the best teammates at the time too, and they were for some of the time frames we were in. But, as we evolved out, we got a little bit smarter in terms of understanding that we, or myself and Corey and Bob, we knew we didn't have all the answers to the business that we were growing into, in terms of truly starting to understand those risks that were involved in business, understanding that there's financial consequences when you do things wrong, and making sure that we could take what we had in terms of a team, and getting teammates, around us that would, enhance what we did, or kind of add value to the parts that we had. And, you know, I think that was all learned through, at the time, looking back, that was all learned through just through a lot of failure and a lot of lessons learned in doing things wrong. Um, and then understanding what we did wrong and saying, hey, maybe there's someone else that probably should be better suited for that position, or better suited to handle collections for us or cash the checks, or that wasn't me, and that wasn't Corey, and that wasn't Bob as well. And so, finding those supporting cast members, cast teammates, led to some just incredible speed in our business over the years. There was there was times, especially during the early years, that growth was just phenomenal in terms of a percentage of increase, or in terms of gaining clients. Not that it's not phenomenal now, it's just different. It's a little different to try and move a needle, or move the top line from a percentage base versus what it was when when we were
Right.
doing $200,000 a year, and then all of a sudden the next year we're doing 500, then 500 turned into 700, 700 went to 1.5, or however it worked out. But that, I mean, like I said, you guys are young, and you're just you're just starting out your own journeys, and it's just exciting. It's exciting to see that, but it also takes me back. It takes me back pretty quick when I see that and hear those stories, and I get excited about it because I was there, and it feels like yesterday when you see two guys like yourself, and it just, once again, it just takes me back.
Yeah, that's awesome. I liked what you kind of said about risk, where like you almost don't understand it in a way. I kind of feel that too. It's like, it's not that I don't know there's not risk, but my mind goes to, how could this turn out to be great? Like, I don't know. Like, I understand there's risk with what we're doing. If you mess up an order, something doesn't come out right or on time, but my mind doesn't go to that. My mind goes to, man, how cool could this be if we get it done? So I resonate with that a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And there's I think there's risk in really anything you do. I mean, in business, there's certain things that can, once again, can take you down or expose you um, to issues or problems you don't want to repeat. So, risk is inevitable in really anything you do in life. I'm obviously at home right now, and um, raising three kids, and having a wife. I mean, there's all kinds of risks around me all the time. So it's part of it. You just, accepted the fact that there's going to be things that happen. And then, kind of working my mindset over the years, just to understand that there's days that just aren't going to go good. There's certain parts of days that don't go good almost each and every day for me, especially in the position I'm in now. A lot of the stuff I have to go through or deal with on a day-to-day basis isn't necessarily fun, or isn't necessarily super exciting. Some of it's fixing things, and some of it's dealing with issues, but that's okay. That's life in itself. And when you get to my age, you start to understand that, and expect it maybe a little more than when we were 18 to 20 years old, and we'd get super excited, both positively and negatively, when things would happen. And you just mature as a person. You mature in business of building that mindset to say that certain things are just not going to go well today, and that's all right. And what do we do to stay calm and focused and positive, to try and fix the outcome, or positive and trying to fix someone else's issue where they're maybe really elevated in terms of being super high or super low for their day. So it's it's just been fun to kind of evolve through that, for sure.
Before we begin today's episode, let's give a big shout out to our first sponsor, The Wash Bar. Get ready for an outstanding car wash experience that surpasses the ordinary. At The Wash Bar, you're in control with services tailored to your preferences, your wash, your way, as often as you like. Your satisfaction is paramount. The team remembers your preferences, ensuring top quality service every time. Their app and online tools make customizing your wash effortless. But it's more than a car wash at the wash bar, it's a community. Get acquainted with a friendly team and enjoy complimentary root beer for kids as they await their car's transformation. Experience unparalleled cleanliness with advanced technology. A clean car is more than a luxury, it's a sanctuary. They offer 24-hour self-service bays, free vacuums, and more. Don't miss the exceptional car wash experience at the Wash Bar, which is located at 1125 Fountains Way in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Visit today for a unique car wash adventure. A special thanks to our sponsor, the Wash Bar. Now let's dive into today's episode. Yeah, I think what I like, is you talk a lot about building a culture, surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals, and also being able to go, hey, I'm not necessarily the best guy at this certain task, or an area of the business that you're like, man, I need some help. Whether, like you said, cashing checks or any of that kind of stuff. Just, I guess, how do you build that culture? Getting people to be excited, getting people to go, you know what? Hey, things aren't gonna go the way
Right.
that we expect them to go today, but you gotta
Sure.
stay positive and keep moving forward, anyways.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, culture's not static. So culture is very dynamic. We've had number of cultures within our business over the years. The constant culture that has stayed in place, and I hope stays in place, forever, long past my stay, or long past a certain other team member's stay that they may have had an impact to. But culture is always moving. I mean, the one thing that has existed though is that passion. I'm super passionate about our business. Maybe not in terms of, I'm not super passionate about, hey man, we're going to have, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't super passionate about landscape, right, to start with, but I became extremely passionate about trying to be the best at it, and trying to get people around me, not only to help support, but to work with me that have that same passion level. I mean, passion brings a lot of energy. It just brings a lot of energy. And just as a leader, and maybe I should break it down even as a servant leader, my job is to help, and my job is to help others with their knowledge to help me make good decisions. I did a podcast maybe 6 months ago, and I said this: there's really nothing in the business that I can do at this point without someone else's help. Truly, I could go out. Well, I could go out and mow someone's yard, or do that. I've still got that basic down. But our system, and in terms of our company, there's a lot of inner workings. Whether it's our operating system, whether it's some of the HR components that we run, I don't know how to run them super well. I can get on them enough to be dangerous, and but keeping people around you to help you make good decisions. It's my job to be really passionate about it, why their job is important, or why it matters, or what that impact may do when they do it super well or do it super bad, right? Because we all do things on a day-to-day basis. They're like, I could have probably did that different. Or so that energy and passion is critical. And it's critical to a culture, and it's really driven by leadership, not just mine. It's leadership in all the areas that we have. Maybe I'll bring it into I'll bring wrestling a little bit into that. I mean, you guys are involved with with a program that's got a head coach or a leader, right? But it's got assistant coaches, it's
Yep.
got trainers. All those people have to have energy and passion too. I mean, they do. They have a different role within the organization, or using our organization, that requires them to be super energetic, super positive, and super passionate about what they do. So when you have those moments, and leaders, whether you know it or not, or whether you expect it or not, they do evolve. I mean, you have a target on your back, and the target is the target's always there. So you have to set the groundwork and set the example each day. So I wake up tomorrow and it's a Monday, right? Everybody gets down about Mondays. Mondays aren't super awesome. But at the same time, I mean, it's a Monday and it's the start of the week, and it's the start of
Yep.
it's the start of 5 days of something special we can do this week. And so we got to set the tone on Monday, that rolls into Tuesday, rolls into Wednesday, and rolls into the following days and weekend. So I got to have energy tomorrow. And I got to be on point to make sure if I see someone down and out, that I'm trying to help at that point, fix whatever issue in any way that I can. And the thing that I bring to the business now is is a lot of experience within the business. It's really the only thing I've done, and so I got a lot of experience on failures, and I got some winning stories in there too. But I got a lot of stories on failures, so most things don't surprise me. Day in and day out, when someone has either failed at something or is struggling with something through life, I probably went through it in some capacity, one way or the other. And we can share stories from those. Between each other or between a group to kind of help build each other up and continue that. So, every company has a culture, whether they know it or not, and whether it's super positive or if it's down and out, that's the culture that you got right now. So it's, that's work. And that's the thing that makes a company, in my opinion, rise to the top or can sink from the top if that culture energy is not driven by really passionate people that want not only the best for the company but want what's best for around them and have that same expectation of themselves. They know that that trying to get better and trying to be the best you can be each day is really the goal of life. And so you just gotta embrace that. You just gotta embrace it. And you guys starting your own business, it's you got a lot of mentors around you. You got a lot of other people of other types doing podcasts, and some are super successful, and some are just starting off like yourself. You see that energy. You see where the good ones are doing it really well. It's usually being driven by a lot of energy and passion. So that's what we try and bring each and every day with just our whole team.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love that energy and passion for sure. That's something, I even think that Doug does a really good job of showing up, no matter what, every day. Whether, he's dealing with, like, for the example right now, our facility, being shut down. And he's still showing up, patting guys on the back, giving them
Right.
hugs, checking on them, making sure, you know, they're doing well and they're okay and they're still growing. They're still, um, controlling what you can, right?
Right.
Um, so
Yeah.
it,
I
and
don't,
like you
I don't
said,
know.
that's servant leadership
That's right. And I
a little
don't,
bit.
I don't know Doug personally. Um, I've seen him, but more importantly, I've listened to him through different interviews, and whether it's Doug or maybe one of the other big time coaches within wrestling program. The thing I catch from Doug and listening to him, it bleeds out of him, and you can just tell. It's just that passion just bleeds out of him, and that's you can't fake that. You just really can't, and that's it's special when you see it out of people that are doing it at the highest level. Um, it can be really infectious to those around you. It just can.
Yeah, I think you
Yeah,
can, like, especially when Doug talks, like, you can just hear the passion in his voice. Like, he 100% believes in what he's telling us, and it's not just a front. And I think for us as athletes, that's super easy to, like, want to be a part of, want to, like, jump on, like, the Panther train right away. And I think that's basically what you're kind of describing too, is just I'm passionate about my work. Maybe if it isn't the work, it's being the best at this work, and really just kind of gain momentum through all that. Like you said, being happy it's Monday, get to go back to work, a new week of
Right.
different things that you got to achieve and do. So
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that a
yeah.
lot.
See, I see it in a lot of different people, a lot of different people, a lot of different. It can be in a sport, it can be in a business. It could be uh, really in anything. You can see that when someone's got a lot of passion and they're doing it really in a positive mindset or a positive approach. It just it can impact individuals all around them to a level they really didn't think they could get to. Um, and having I know, in my situation now, I've got I have a tremendous team around me. I feel blessed to be part of it, and I really feel like that I'm just part of it. I have a role, and I know my role, but it's what I do is not necessarily defined by it. Um, I, uh, I feel like I'm part of the team, and I've just got some great people around me that bring that same energy and are open and honest back with me too, because that's important as well. Is they're open and honest back to me too in terms of feedback or critical information that I could do different, maybe say different, present different. I usually bounce ideas off several people I trust on a day-to-day basis before we really make a decision. And um, I count on that leadership from them to help me. And I try and use my experience and what I've done to help them. But I guess, like I said, I mean, you see it at you know many different in many different various aspects of business or sports or coaches, and the guys that are doing it right and doing it consistently tend to just tend to have sometimes better results than others when that real life positive passion leadership comes out.
Yeah, and I think a lot of what you're talking about too is accepting those failures as something that propelled you forward. Some people look at failure and they're like, "Yeah, I failed, and just going to give up. I'm going to quit. I'm not going to pivot." And I think you've probably pivoted quite a bit along your journey, and you talked a lot about your experiences and having a lot of those failures. And I think that's where that perspective comes from of having that growth mindset, the energy, the passion for what you do, because you've been at rock bottom, you've had failures, and now I mean there's different problems and stuff, but I mean you're at a completely different spot now than you were when you were 18.
Yeah, I mean, but guys, losses are inevitable. I mean, just they're going to
Yep.
happen. They're going to happen a lot. Um, they happen a ton in business. They happen a ton in life. Um, down to breaking it down to wrestling. I have two younger, what I can still consider younger kids that are wrestling. I got an upcoming sophomore and I got an 8-year-old, and they're at different stages of wrestling. I shouldn't forget my daughter wrestled too. She was a state champ. She probably doesn't want me to tell you that, but she's a little embarrassed about that at this point because I can't get her to wrestle. But especially with my boys now, wins and losses are great. I want my as a parent, everyone wants their child to win. No one's going out there with the mindset of I hope my child loses, right? Most times that isn't. But I've also adapted that mindset that you got to lose. You have got to lose, and you got to lose a lot, and you got to lose often, because you got to learn from that. There's a lot of people that say you're either winning or you're learning,
Yep.
and there's a lot that goes into that.
Right.
But I don't shy away from a loss or a failure. I don't put my kids in position um, to not lose, because what I tell them each and every time is this is just preparing you for a life where you lose a lot, and it's really hard. And so, yeah, I mean, those failures you need them because you either they just test you, and they sharpen your mental edge when you can come out of them, and you learn from
Right.
them, and you learn and you try and apply what you learned the next time. So, maybe you don't lose as bad, or maybe you don't lose as often. So I know you've went through those experiences yourself, right? On a wrestling mat, and
Yep.
I'm sure in life, but I'm big on you got to learn to lose, and you got to learn to lose. I don't want to say often, but
Yep.
you got to learn. You got to lose enough to realize what it feels like, and to be able to learn from it, to be able to apply it to a bigger
Yep.
a bigger piece of the puzzle, which is, for my own two sons, wrestling. And just like with you, Lance, I mean, wrestling's really just a smidget of life. And what you
Yep.
learn, or through that, whether it's the hard work or the discipline or the sacrifice or the wins or the losses, are going to help you for the next, hopefully 60 years plus. And that's the goal. I mean, it's just to keep improving throughout life, not just on a wrestling mat, or for me, not just a Perficut, because there will be a time that day ends for me too, and I'll have to move on to something different. And whether that's at some age of retirement, or at some age, this I don't really look at as retirement. I'm never going to quit doing anything in terms of that, but um, you just got to be able to apply that, those wins and losses. I mean, throughout your whole life. So it's inevitable. Just embrace the L's just as
Yep.
much as you embrace the W's.
Yep. I
Yep.
mean, that makes me think of a quote that Garrett and I have grown pretty fond of over the last few weeks, but there is opportunity through adversity for those who seek. So it's inevitable, but if you shape your perspective around adversity not being this bad thing, right? It's good. Like, you're gonna come out of it eventually, and you'll be better than you were before you went into it. So
Yeah, and I think
I
what you
like
said too
that
is like
quote.
experiencing failure. Um, I mean, there's a few times like I can remember where I maybe didn't maybe offer what I promised, or it didn't come out as well as I thought it was going to come out for an order. And like that pain of like not feeling like I did my best, or it didn't come out right, that's shaped me as well. Learning how it feels not to do what you said you were going to do, or just little things like that. Like Lance knows I'm a very OCD guy, so when things aren't coming out right or whatever, that bites at me too. So just learning how to deal with that too, and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what Matt talked about. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
No, go ahead, Lance.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think at the end, what you kind of mentioned was just your identity, and really not allowing your identity to be wrapped up in something that you do, right? You're who you
Yep.
are, and your work is something that you do. And I think that's one thing that me and Garrett have been talking about a little bit. That's how you get so much passion for it. It doesn't define who you are. Just like wrestling, like, it's not, wrestling isn't who I am. It's just something that I do. And I think there's a lot of freedom in realizing that. So
Yeah, you're spot on. It should not define you. It's a piece of you. It's a part of your life. It's certainly an amazing amount of memories you're going to have, and you're going to be able to apply those memories in a lot of different ways, and share a lot of different stories based on wrestling. And I can do the same based on what I've done in business, or challenges I've taken on in my own personal life too. Those are fun stories to share, and their fun experiences to relive. But you're going to grow. You're going to grow as a human being. I'm not the same person I was when I was your age, and I wasn't the same person I was when I was 30. I'm evolving. I'm hopefully getting better each and every day. There's certainly things on a day-to-day basis, and that I could, once again, I said I could do different, and learn from. And I still make those mistakes all the time. But I hopefully who I am, even at age 47 now doesn't define me as I keep evolving, so um,
Right.
that's that's just part of it, and I see a lot of people.
Yep.
I see a lot of people and a lot of experiences that people share that they're sometimes hung up on that, or they're caught up on maybe what they have done or what they have accomplished, and it's you don't maybe see the true evolvement of where they could be, and kind of you stuck in some of those ruts, and um, that's it's you got to challenge yourself, and you got to really work at it, and it's hard work getting better in the sport of wrestling, and just like it's super hard work for me to become a better dad each day, or become a better husband, or I'm getting ready to kick off flag football season with my 8-year-old son, and so I got to get better in
Heck yeah.
second grade flag football than I was at first. So um I'm just trying to evolve best way I can.
Before we move forward with today's episode, let's extend our gratitude to our second podcast sponsor, Iowa Ortho. Iowa Ortho provides top tier orthopedic care, expert teams address sports injuries, arthritis, and more, enhancing comfort and quality of life. With 9 convenient locations across central Iowa, booking is simple. Visit www.iowaortho.com or call 515 247 8400. Explore their unique services like the body composition scan, which is ideal for athletes, evaluating body fat, muscle content, and bone distribution tailors training. And it's all for $40. Choose Iowa Ortho for quality care and convenience. Visit their website or call for an appointment. Experience exceptional care firsthand. Thanks to Iowa Ortho for their support. Now let's get back to the episode. I say just give Jax the ball and let him run down the sideline.
That's what he says too. But that's one thing. It's just an exciting time in my life for that. I get to see, I get to see my own kids having fun. I get to see them evolving. I get to see, um, I get to see their own wins and losses. I didn't necessarily grow up in the sport of wrestling. I wrestled when I was a little kid through a rec program, but I played all the sports, and now I'm exposed at a little different level now with my 2 boys, and I see their highs and lows, um, and I see it often. So um, it's just a fun time in my life where I get to try and help, and I get to try and once again I get to try and use some of my experiences with my kids when things go things go right and wrong, and it's a fun time for us just to do it together as a family, and just we're trying to get better at that all the time, just the dynamics of a family, and staying in touch and staying communicating, in constant communication, because we're busy, and my daughter's 17, and she doesn't necessarily want to hang out with mom and dad all the time anymore, and I get it. Either does my 15-year-old as much. So we got to just find different ways, because I remember when I was that age too, and the last thing I want to do is necessarily hanging at home. I want to be with my friends, or do other things. So it's just fun time.
Yeah, I think one thing for me and Garrett, just with the customer kind of aspect of it, obviously in the lawn care business, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. I mean, I've seen it working at
Right.
Purficut. Um, whether you spray the wrong spray on the grass, burn it up, now you got to go fix it, right? But how do you prioritize and understand the needs of your customers, and like what strategies, I guess, do you use to ensure that you keep your customers happy and satisfied, and
Sure. Well, I
stay
mean,
loyal as well?
yeah, I mean, well, without clients, I don't have a job, and either do any of the rest of our team. So our clients are at the top. We're here they pay us to serve them, deliver a service that they expect to be at a super high level, because um, we've either sold them that expectation that we have to live out each day, So, I mean, customers are, that's easy. That's easy for people to say, you'll hear that, customers are always right, or customers are number one, or there's elements of that that are certainly correct. You have to have them in order to grow a business. But we've developed a philosophy really from the start, and that is we're a partnership business. So we're not a transactional business. We like to know our clients. We like to learn their ins and outs. We want to learn what makes them tick. We also want to learn their expectations of what they expect from us as a service provider. So we try and start with the basics of that. I just did one of these last week on Friday, where we had gotten a new client, and I went to the meeting with our team, and I just wanted to know them, and I told them that I just like to know who our clients are. I want to know the personalities. I want to know what you expect from us in terms of communication. I want to set the tone off right by starting off right. The last thing I want to do is get started and then have to kind of go backwards on the expectation and restart over. So our goal is as a company is to have a client for life. And we just try and do that through that constant communication approach, and keeping that at the highest level it can be. I got a view that if you do that right, kind of the rest follows. So if you're serving your clients the way they should be, and you're communicating and meeting or beating expectations, and when you're not meeting expectations, that you've got a good corrective plan for them that works and sticks, the rest usually follows. They usually stay with you, and you usually become usually make a little bit of money. Maybe you make more money than you expected because you become more efficient. You become more knowledgeable on their sites over the years, that you know what works and doesn't work. So we're not a transactional based business, even though we're pretty large in scale. It really is that approach, and it's something we preach about all the time with our team. This is a relationship. Someone is trusting us to give them a service. We got to go out and deliver that service. They're going to pay us for that, but they have certain expectations too that they want from us, and we got to make sure that we deliver them through a good, communicative partnership approach, so we can do what they're asking, and we can fix things when we mess up in the best practice approach to that partnership that we can. So it's how our company was. It's how we started. It still exists very deeply in what we do. It can't exist in every single client, because some clients they don't need that, or don't expect, or don't want as much personal touch as others. But we try and give it. So we try and let them tell us when we're when we're communicating too much. But we're not perfect at that. We have issues that happen. When I started off on this podcast with you, is we make mistakes every single day. So we just look at those and so we can fix them, and it's a constant.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what's so satisfying about the work that Lance and I do, is like you really do get to make these connections with these people, like outside of just what the tasks need to be, whether it's for them or us. Like you're getting texts like, "Hey, happy birthday! Hey, how'd your son do at his event?" or things like that. That's why I think I fell in love with this type of work too. Is like it doesn't even seem like work some days, honestly. Like it seems like I'm emailing my buddy or whatever it is. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, you guys are in a really cool. You guys are in a really cool position. Yeah, I mean, not many people get to spend one-on-one time with people they don't know on a day-to-day basis a lot. So really, each time you get to do one of these, it's a different exposure to someone that you probably would have never had unless you were doing what you guys are doing. And that's the same thing that we're getting with clients. And as I mentioned with this client on Friday, it's a new client. And so now I know two more people that I didn't know before I went there Friday at 2 o'clock, who I know now, and I know what they do, and I know the business they're in. And if I when I see them the next time, it just feels different than the first time because we spent some time together, and that's fun. I mean, that's that's a fun part of my job. That's the exciting thing on my job that I get to do that makes the Friday before 2 o'clock that was problem fixing, you know, turn the other way at 2 o'clock when I get to do that and say that's what it's all about. We have a new client. I didn't have any part of getting this new client, which was also exciting because I'm seeing team members win, but it's based on the foundation of what the business was started on. That makes me more satisfied now than any time in my life. That we get to see teammates have their own successful story with a new client. And I just got to show up and shake hands and tell them I appreciate, them believing in us and working with us. And, and, and I get to be part of that through someone else's hard work and through someone else's efforts. And that's just very rewarding. I just really enjoy that. That's what just keeps me kind of going at this point is, those success stories that the foundation of the business was built on is being accomplished by others. It's just fun. And you guys in your position, I don't know how many episodes you've done, but each and every one of these, you maybe get a little deeper connection than what you had before. I did see one where Lance maybe had on his roommate Parker. So I assume you know Parker pretty well, but
Yep.
but maybe you pick something out of Parker that you didn't know by spending that one-on-one time for an hour or 45 minutes of doing one of these podcasts that it's a little bit more deeply ingrained in you. Like, I didn't know that about you, Parker. That's pretty cool, even though I've known you for
Yep.
4 or 5 years or whatever it is. So that's fun stuff when you get to do that.
Yeah, I think that's one thing we learned, out on that Colorado trip. We were working a booth for a guy that we'd never met. It was like Garrett reached out to him on Twitter. He's like, "Hey, I need an apparel guy," and Garrett was like, "Hey, I'm your guy. Like, whatever you need, send me what ideas you have. I'll get it done." And then this guy invites us out. "Hey, you want to work the booth at my conference? You guys can just come out. We'll get you in. You can mingle, network, get more clients while you're here." And then just a thing I heard you say was, patting guys on the back that also work with you. You said, getting an excitement because you didn't secure the deal. You're
Right.
you're seeing other people win. Yeah, and that was one thing that they were telling us. They're like, it's the little things. It's not necessarily always what you say to people, but it's how you make them feel. So you come up and you give them a hug and you're like, "Man, I'm proud of you. Good job for securing that deal or having
Right.
that conversation." Or maybe it's just a little thing that they said. It's like, "Hey, that was awesome, man. You had great energy today," or whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how big of impact that can be. I'll share a little story with you, Lance, because I think I've told you this, but you guys are in a unique position where you're wrestling at a super high level, right? A Division 1 level, and people may know your name, people may know your face, and I think this gets missed by so many young athletes that I see. And I'm exposed to a different club that my boys are part of, but I do see the age groups that I see the kids at the highest level, and they may be seniors and graduating out of the club, and I think kids miss this, and that is how big of an impact that you guys can have on younger people that look up to you that you don't even know. And that one thing, it could be my son, Lance, I've told you this kid, my son, Jax, runs a cradle like nobody's business. I think it's maybe at a higher level than yours at this point. It's pretty close. Um, but, but, um, we watch, I mean, he'll watch your videos and I'll put them on and he'll watch them, and you just see the smile on his face. And, um, of those things. But where I was going is, when you're at those levels, and whether it's in business or whether it's at the level you guys are in the sport of wrestling, or is you guys can just have huge impacts on kids and on younger people in the sport by just saying hi, or just saying, you know what, I just watched you wrestle. You did that. You did whatever that was. That was sweet. I don't even know if I could do that. You change the dynamic of someone pretty quick. And you don't know this when you're young. You just don't. You don't know when you're at at wrestling club, or in business, when you're younger in business, that those minute little things that you can say might be the breakout moment for them. And it might be everything they needed on that day or in that moment, that changes their whole belief system. It's like, yeah, I got that, that deal on Friday. I got that deal. I can do that again. I didn't think I was going to do it. I didn't think it'd go that well. I'm shocked I got it, whatever it is. And then to hear from our team, and it wasn't just me, it was other teammates that are on our team, were like, great job, Jen. Like, truly great job. Like, that changes things. It just does. And so many people miss that. They just do, myself included. I could say thank you, or say you're doing an awesome job, so many more times than I do. It's really something I need to continue to work on all the time. And we get all busy, and busy in our day. But really, when you look at it and think back, is you really need to put that busy aside, and just say, I'm not too busy to go take the time to say good job. Because those people's jobs within our business are supporting my own life and my own family, in what they do. So it's just, people need to do more of it, especially when you're in a position where you can impact others that are looking up to you, that you don't even realize and don't even know.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I've realized is my purpose in life, leaving impact on as many people you can, and that's all from God, and I'm grateful for that. And
Yeah. And I know Lance and I talked about this too, is like, you're everyone on this planet, you're truly like one individual or one event away from the life that you want to live. Like, you just never know like what a true connection can gain you, and not only yourself but for them as well. So that's what's super exciting for me. Like, maybe some kid that we have no idea even exists is watching this and he's gathering something from it. And that's what I get excited about too.
wrapping up this week's episode, let's give a shout out to our final sponsor, Mulligan's Brick Oven. Indulge in delightful dining experience brimming with incredible flavors. Mulligan's offers inventive dishes with a focus on brick oven pizza and progressive pub fare. Their menu caters to both classics and creative creations. And don't forget their diverse beer menu, which is carefully curated to complement their cuisine. They're open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., Sundays through Wednesdays, and until midnight, Thursdays through Saturdays. Mulligan's lets you savor their culinary delights and explore various beers. Embark on a culinary adventure at Mulligan's Brick Oven, Grill and Pub. Thanks again to Mulligan's Brick Oven, Pizza, Grill and Pub for the support.
Yeah, for sure. And it'll become, hopefully a bigger piece of, not only your business but your life. And um, it's became super important to me, especially over the last 5 or 6 years. I'll really say that, and I give a lot of credit to just some of the team members that I've had around me, where I've seen them do that. You know, Lance's dad, Bob, being one of them. I've just seen him be a tremendous coach and tremendous leader within our organization, and it puts a little fire in me that I got to replicate some of that, and I can, it just makes me want to be a better version too. So hopefully, hopefully you guys meet those mentors, and and people within the industry that you guys are pursuing now, that are giving you guys some shout outs of belief and encouragement. and the people that you're talking with are giving you some inspiration as well, because it's a cool thing when it happens, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, really, probably just one or two more questions, and I'll hit you with a rapid fire at the end, just a little
Okay.
get to know you kind of thing. And
Okay.
I guess one little thing I wanted to ask you about was just any marketing tips or strategies that you've used, or that has helped you guys really in the industry.
Yeah, I mean, our brand awareness has been our number one marketer from day one. We run a specific blue truck that is synonymous with our name, and has been probably our biggest help that we've done in terms of marketing, or what people have come to become synonymous with. Um, so I'm a big believer on brand recognition. If your brand is super strong and it's super well positioned, and it's super well designed or displayed, I think I think you have a huge strategic advantage over others. Um, I know everybody's heard of Apple. Um, but everyone can
Yep.
know Apple without seeing the word Apple anymore. They can just see it by their mark. And Facebook is another one. If you know their mark without saying Facebook, um, and even maybe bringing it into your guys' college fun days of when you guys go out, and Red Bull's just done a phenomenal job in the bar scene. If no one's really ever ordered a vodka Monster, to my knowledge. They probably always ordered a vodka Red Bull, even if the bar has poured Monster or poured something else into it. It's just became synonymous, and it just has. I mean, they've done an amazing job. So I'm just big on the brand. Brand's got to be it's got to be well displayed. It's got to be it's got to be well shown. It's got to be clean, so it starts to stand on its own without having to say the name as much anymore. And with ours, we've done a pretty good job of that. It's something we're pretty proud of as a team. We've became a well known brand. Um, we have to the work is making sure that brand is backed up by, you know as I talked about, by high performance, by good relationships, by doing what we say we're going to do, by fixing all the issues when they come up, and as quick and as professional as we can, so the brand can continue to move on. But um, I'm not. I wish I could give you a bunch of tips on, hey, I think you need to position yourself here, or put this type of ad out, or do this or that. I'm really not an expert
Right.
on that. I'm not. I'm an expert in not knowing a whole lot, other than our our brand is something we have tried to display, and we have tried to present, and we have tried to keep clean, and we have tried to be very proud of, and getting our whole team on it. Brands can be the secret sauce when you get that brand name that just sticks, and people start to be able to just, what I said, my 8-year-old has no idea what we do, right? He knows we mow lawns. That's the extent of what he knows. But when he sees a blue truck and sees that it's a Perficut truck, he knows. And it's just, whether it's the color, or whether it's the scheme, or whether it's just um, maybe seeing it around with dad from time to time. But display that brand, display it proud, display it clean, and keep it consistent, and in all that you do. I see a lot of brands that mix it up from time to time, and it maybe doesn't display as well as I think it probably should. Not that it's their business; they can run it however they want. But if you're UPS Brown, every UPS truck is brown. They don't just paint one white one day and see what happens. They just don't. There's a reason. It's just the
Love it.
brand is the brand. And we have done that same thing with ours. Even though it'd be cheaper to take a plain white truck and put some Perficut stickers on it, it's not an option. It's the brand exists in everything we do, and that's the color, that's the display that we do. It's that important. And I just believe that in brands.
Appreciate that.
Friends to
What
people
are
too.
three? Yep. Yep. What are three things that you've improved upon this year and three things that you're still working to improve upon?
That's a good question. Three things that I've improved upon. I'm always improving upon trying to become a better listener. I think it's the best leadership skill set you can have, is becoming a great listener. I feel like I'm constantly improving on that. And I can say I'm a better listener, I think, today than I was yesterday. I think it's the highest level of leadership skill that you can have, especially when you get into a position where I mentioned earlier that I require a lot of input and knowledge around me to be able to make good decisions with our team. So listening is something I just have to stay ultra focused on and continue to get better on. Something else I've improved on, I believe my patience. I've gotten better at that, and in realizing that sometimes the longer game is sometimes the better play than the shorter game, and making a decision that can get us instant gratification may not be the decision we need to make to get us ultra gratification for life. So patience is something I think I've gotten better on. I don't know. There's so many things, guys, that I need to get better on. I'm probably more critical on myself than anybody. I think everything that I do, I'm not doing it to max capacity or where it needs to be. So those are two things that I know the question was three. Those are two that I can say that I could
No, that's perfect.
probably hang my hat on to right now. Three things that I'm working on: team culture all the time. Our team culture needs to get better. It needs to get more consistent. It needs to be more honest. I'm big on honesty, big on transparency and honesty. If you got a problem, let's just talk through it. And the only way we can talk through it and get to an end result is by open transparency and honesty. If the real problem wasn't exposed to why you're upset or why you think things aren't working, then we weren't real honest on fixing the real problem, and we couldn't get there. We talk about it all the time in our team meetings. Is transparency and honesty is the path to true resolution. And if we can't get honest and we can't get a little uncomfortable in telling each other an honest, then we'll probably never get there. So that's something we're improving upon, and something that we're pretty razor focused on. The other is, I'd say, is communication down the line. A lot of times communication stops at the highest level. So in our terms, it'd be with let's say our strategy group, and it doesn't resonate down to the lines that it needs to. And that's where you start making magic happen. If it only exists in the top and the ideas stop there or the implementation stops there, you really didn't get to where you needed to, because most of the time the implementation needs to happen at the ground level. And so it's got to make it all the way down there. And so we're improving upon it, but that's something I still think we can go. If we were 100% of the way there, I think we're 20% there. We have 80% to go. So we got a long ways to go from a team perspective of that. Not that we're bad. I wouldn't say that at all. But once again, I try and think in terms of long term of how great we could be. We got a lot of roadway ahead of us to be great, and we got to have that dialogue roll all the way down to the from the highest level to the lowest level and back up. It's got to start at the lowest level, and when things aren't going well, it's got to be transferred straight up to your next level and all the way to the top so we can fix it. So that's something we're constantly working on. Probably the third thing
Love that.
I could say is
Yeah.
just staying within the things you can control. Things we can control each day is how we react, how positive we are, and what our response can be in terms of either a positive or a negative as a team to improve upon. I think we're getting better at that. There's a lot of things that we do in our business and in life that we can't control, and controlling our attitude, controlling our mind, and controlling our response to that are three things that we're improving upon as a business. But using the same analogy, if it's 100% meter, we still got plenty of runway to go to keep improving on that.
Man, I appreciate that for sure. Just a couple rapid fire questions.
Okay.
What's your favorite place to get chocolate chip cookies?
Whoa, you hit a mark there for me. That's my kryptonite. Man, my favorite chocolate chip cookie. There's a couple little secret spots that I found. I'm trying to think of the name of the restaurant in West Des Moines that has. I'm drawing a blank on the name right now, but you know who puts out a really good chocolate chip cookie that is mass produced, and I don't think it's enough love, is Hy-Vee puts out a really good chocolate chip cookie. They use those Ghirardelli chocolate
I
chips,
agree.
and I'm telling you, I think they're pretty darn solid. I can eat a whole load of those. And I mean, there's some really good cookie places that are popping up right now. Crumble Cookie
Yep.
and those Crumble Cookies got a pretty dang good chocolate chunk cookie. It's not a chocolate chip; it's a chocolate chunk. But I bop into that place several times a month. And sometimes that's my lunch. It's just a chocolate chip cookie from there. Several times that's just my lunch a month. They've they do it right. They do it right. And then my daughter makes a pretty damn good chocolate chip cookie too. She really does. So she used to make them when she would sell them. She'd set up a lemonade stand and sell chocolate chip cookies, and I'm telling you, she can make a pretty mean chocolate chip cookie. It's probably one of my favorite. So, but I don't know. I mean, I've never turned one down anywhere, guys. I'm just being honest. Never.
Yeah, I knew that was your favorite, so I had to ask.
Man.
What's your favorite movie?
I like the movie Rain Man. I don't know if you guys have seen it with Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise.
That's a good one.
I think it's a great story. It's got a lot of highs and lows. It's got family. It's got comedy, and I like the story because it's a help story between two brothers who are obviously polarizing opposites, but they learn a deeper connection within the movie that just somehow draws me in. I mean, there's a lot of good movies, guys. I could name a lot that catch me, but I don't know. I like that story a lot. That's one of my favorite ones.
What's your favorite place to eat in Ankeny?
Main Street Cafe is my favorite place in Ankeny. They got an awesome menu. It's probably the largest menu in Ankeny. And they make everything right. And they also have an amazing chocolate chip cookie. And they also have this thing called, I think it's called the Magic Bar, which is this actually it's called a Carmelita. And it's fire. It's just, it's off the charts. But I'm blown away by that business. That business has been there like 4 years. And the amount of business they run through there with that many menu items they can make right just mind boggles me. I'm intrigued by that business a lot when I go in there. I'm just like, how do they do this so right with that many menu items, with this many people? They do a good job. That's probably my favorite place in Ankeny.
Yeah, my mom likes her cake from there. I know my dad bops in there,
Oh yeah,
every once in a while and gets her a slice of cake. So,
it's solid.
let's see. Last one. What's your favorite sports team?
The Red Sox. It's my that's my longest running sports team that I've loved. It, I don't know. I'm a diehard Boston Red Sox fan. I like a lot of other teams, but I don't know. There's just something about the Red Sox that just gets me. I never waver on them.
Well, thank you for listening to the Elite Wrestling Club podcast. We hope you found today's episode valuable and enjoyed our exploration of Matt Boelman. To stay connected with us, hit the subscribe button, never to miss an episode. We release new content every Monday. You can leave a review on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Your reviews help us reach more listeners and provide valuable content. Visit the Elite Wrestling Club website and follow us on social media for questions, topic suggestions, or to connect with our community. If you love the episode today, you can donate to us using our Elite Wrestling Club PayPal or Venmo, which is located on our podcast website. You can go to elitewrestlingclub.store, click podcast, and hit the podcast website button in yellow, where you will see the donation heart in the top right corner. These donations help us to continue providing remarkable content for you weekly, as well as improve your experience for future episodes as well. Exciting episodes are coming, so stay tuned and join us next time for more inspiration. Thank you for being a part of the Elite Wrestling Club podcast world. Keep exploring within to inspire others.